Good afternoon, students. This is Dr. Prashant here. I am faculty for Geography as well as Environment and Ecology and Disaster Management for UPSC as well as State PCS since last 10 years. So, students, here we are today for this class is specifically devoted for the discussion of 63rd BPSC Mains Geography Optional Question Paper. So, here as we have earlier discussed these previous question papers, now in the sequence we will discuss this 63rd Mains Geography Optional Question Paper. Yes, so the very first question in this series, in this sequence is question number 1, and it is devoted to mainly to the karst topography. So I think this karst topography is familiar to everybody of you, because I always stress you that while preparing geography for mains optional in optional subject, especially in mains writing, all these topographies, there are the various landforms topographies like the aeolian topography, that means because of the wind, then glacier topography, aeolial, glacier, periglacier, yes, and karst topography. So all these topographies must be prepared, because we can see that the question alternatively is being asked on either of any of the landforms. Yes, so this forms the important and these are the scoring points, because if you attempt all this, mention very well, deal the question well, then the scoring will be definitely good. So now see what the question says. It says discuss the conditions required for the development of the karst topography with associated features. Yes. So now what it comprises? See, it is a this question is for 50 marks. It is a full length question, single question. So the central theme is what we need to keep into mind it. What is the central concept? Karst topography. The central concept is karst topography here, and the second aspect of this question is what are the conditions. Karst topography, the first part is the conditions for the development of karst topography, and second feature is what are the features, associated features. So now as far as feature is conditions means, what is it? What factors which are the responsible for the development of karst topography, means due to which some particular reason shows karst topography, we have to enlist those all conditions. The second part is a feature part. So as far as feature are concerned, here are again the two parts. One is the erosional landforms and the second is the depositional landforms. Yes. So both these landforms you have to mention here. Getting it, students? So now just begin with it. So the introduction is very important aspect of any question, and especially in such full length question which carries 50 marks, it becomes immensely necessary. So how you can introduce this question? Just guess. See how you can attempt it. So it is one of the landform has been asked. So just take a global perspective, means a larger, wider perspective as far as introduction is concerned. How come we can say that yes, the oceans or the continents, see how I am attempting to write the introduction. The continents and ocean basins comprises the landforms of first order. Landforms of first order. The continents and ocean basins comprises the landforms of first order. Then continue in the same itself, the plateaus, plains and mountains. The plateaus, plains and mountains, this comprises the landforms of second order. Yes, the plateaus, plains and mountains, this comprises the landforms of second order, while the landforms of third order includes the various diverse landforms. The diverse landforms like diverse landforms, yes, which are formed due to the denudational work, or you can say that the erosional and depositional work. What is this A&D? Erosional and depositional work of the agents of denudation. The agents of denudation, such as, what are the agents of denudation? Means, for example, you can say the glaciers, then the rivers, then the wind, and of course the groundwater. Yes, etc. So getting it, what we have said, and after that you have to say, out of these the groundwater forms a picturesque landforms which are known as limestone landform, which are also popularly known as karst topography. Getting it? So in this sense, now you are coming to the karst topography. Means this should be the way of, in this fashion you should introduce your question, because it is a full length 50 marks question. So how we can come to this conclusion, introduction? The continents and ocean basins comprises the landforms of first order. The plateaus, plains and mountains comprises the landforms of second order, while the landforms and the landforms of third order, TO means the landforms of third order includes the different landforms which are includes the landforms which are formed due to the denudational work. In bracket you can write erosional as well as denudational work of the agents of denudation, such as glaciers, GL for glaciers, rivers, waters, groundwater, etc. Out of these, then how we are making last statement? Out of these, the groundwater forms a picturesque landform which are known as the limestone topography. In the last part we are saying, out of these means glacier, river, water, river, wind and groundwater. Out of these, the groundwater forms a picturesque landforms which are known as limestone landforms, which are popularly known as karst topography. Yes. So this should be one of the best way of writing the introduction. Getting it? I have dictated, I have written fast and sometimes in brief, but I have dictated you so that you can write it down if you wish so. So now after that, after giving the introduction, then you can mention in second para, you have to write the what exactly the limestone topography is and how it is called as a karst topography. Yes. So as far as limestone topography is concerned, these are the landform limestone topography, because karst topography is also known as limestone topography. So the topography are the landforms which are formed due to the erosional and depositional works of, or due to the erosion and deposition of the limestone as well as dolomite. Yes, due to the erosion and deposition or depositional work of the stones like limestones and dolomite, the various sorts of the landforms are formed. Means the landforms which are formed due to the chemical erosion. Landforms which are formed due to the chemical erosion of the limestone and dolomite. Due to the groundwater are known as limestone topography. Means the topography that is formed, or the landforms that is formed due to the chemical erosion. Yes, the landforms which are formed due to the chemical erosion of the limestone and dolomite due to the groundwater are known as the landform topography, limestone topography. And why it is called as, now you need to explain why it is called as a karst topography. So, as far as this limestone topography is concerned, it is vastly developed, largely developed in the Karst region of erstwhile Yugoslavia. This limestone topography is well established, well developed into the erstwhile region, in the Karst region of erstwhile Yugoslavia, and that's why it is popularly known as Karst topography. So where is this Karst region in Yugoslavia? The Karst, it is situated along the eastern sides of the Adriatic Sea. If you see the Europe map, then you will see that along the east coast of the Adriatic Sea, that entire region of this Yugoslavia is called as Karst region. So now this is your better start. Yes, now you have given the better introduction, then coupled with what exactly this limestone topography is, you have defined that, and how it is called as karst topography, you have then mentioned that. Yes, so up to this point, once you come, later on, you have to come to the important first part of the question, and that is the conditions for the formations of the landfall topography or the karst topography. So what we will mention here, most importantly, see, there are some bullet points here. The very first requirement is that there should be the extensive, the limestones areas or the limestone topography, it is the spread, or you can say the spread or the extent of limestone or dolomite, it should be vastly present. The extent or the spread of limestone or the dolomite should be vastly present and in extensive areas, or also you can say that the thickly bedded, it should be thickly bedded. Yes, means this should be the vast, extensive and thickly bedded. Yes, and again it should be well joined and well cemented. It should be well joined, well cemented. Then again it should be very close to the ground surface, means it should not be far deeper from the ground surface. It should be the very close to the ground surface. Secondly, thirdly, but simultaneously it should be above the groundwater table. Yes, it should be just above the groundwater table. It should not be below groundwater table. Yes, then there should be the sufficient rainfall. There should not be a desert area. If it is desert area, then there will not. There will be sufficient rainfall, so that there should be the availability of the water, isn't it or not? So in this fashion, you have to summarize what exactly are the different conditions that are prerequisites required for the formation of the landforms of the karst topographic outregion. So after enlisting all these conditions, then you have to also mention the important point that which are the karst region. So as far as karst region are concerned, we can see that primarily it is seen in the erstwhile region, karst region of the erstwhile Yugoslavia. Importantly, then we can also see that in the South France, in the Spain, as well as some of the states of USA, then Cuba, then Jamaica, then also the Germany, parts of Japan. In all these regions, we can conspicuously see the karst topography. Now you must also mention one for some lines regarding the India. As far as India is concerned, you must mention, devote one para to the India. As far as India is concerned, this karst topography is not conspicuously developed. Why it is not properly developed or conspicuously developed? Because there is a lack of extensive, wide and thickly bedded limestones are not available into the, or the dolomites are not available into the India, and as a result of that, as extensive landform karst topography is not developed in India. But to some extent we can see that in the eastern Himalayas, then in the parts of Jammu and Kashmir, in Uttarakhand, Yes, in the Madhya Pradesh also, as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned, in the Pachmari. You know Pachmari? Yes, in Chhattisgarh also, in one or two districts of the Chhattisgarh also, we can see the karst topography. Yes, so in this way you are explaining the first half of this question. Yes. Now, after that, you have to come to the second part of the question. Now, second part, it has the various features. So, as far as features is concerned, then what you can do, you can make a chart. Because here, as far as features are concerned, there are two types of the feature. One is the erosional features, and second are the depositional features. Yes, as far as erosional features are concerned, then you can make a chart. The lapis, it is one of the most important feature. Then various solution holes. Then as far as solution holes are concerned, then again we can see enumerate that the sink hole, shallow holes, dolines, uvalas, polges, etc. etc. Then again the caves, polars, etc. Right? So these are the various different erosional landforms are concerned. Then as far as depositional landforms are concerned, which are the various depositional landforms? Importantly, the drift stones. You can also make chart like this. The drift stones. Yes, the drift stone is important. The very basic depositional feature. Then stalactite, then stalagmite, pillars, etc. etc. So these are the depositional features. So we will also see this. So first take with the erosional features. So as far as erosional feature is concerned, lapis. As far as what are lapis, you can draw a diagram also. Like this. Pink. It's pink as such, terra rosa. So see, as far as lapis is concerned, means you can explain the lapis and draw a diagram in a bracket like this. Yes, and explain these are the pinnacles. For this is rough and corrugated deposit erosional. This is what is lapis? Lapis are nothing but these are the rough and corrugated features which are marked with the pinnacles. These are pinnacles. Yes, and after what happen? After erosion, after denudation, the remains that are remains. These are called as the terra rosa. Yes, after their denudation, the characteristic feature that is left are the remnants that we can see. These remnants are called as a sort of, we can define as a terra rosa. Means just 2 or 3 points you can mention there in their distribution. Then you can come to the sink holes, shallow holes, solution holes first of all, then sink hole. What are shallow holes? These, as far as sink hole is concerned, these are nothing but these are the small depressions. These are formed. These are either in the cylindrical shape or the funnel shape. Yes, funnel shape means like this. Cylindrical shape means like this. Yes, these are the sink holes. Then which are formed with the depressions of the solution holes. Then the number of the closely spaced nearing sink holes get coalesces with each other, and some larger size solution holes are formed. The larger size solution holes are formed. These solution holes are called as shallow holes. Yes, we can define it as like these shallow holes are formed when closely spaced shallow holes coalesces with each other, means they intermixes with each other. Then dolines are formed. What are dolines? Dolines are nothing but these are the solution holes which are comparatively larger in size than the shallow holes which are formed with coalescence of the different shallow holes. etc. So they are dolines, then sink holes, uvalas, then definitely polges. Yes, these are the vast exposures as far as they are concerned, vast extensive depression bodies, and sometimes water when water get deposited into it, it is called as a Polje lake. It is so in this fashion you can explain the this erosional landforms. And what you should do, I would like to recommend you that you should draw such a wide diagram where mentioning here the sinkholes, then shallow holes, dolines, ovalas, poljes, yes, like that. Yes, in our regular classes we deal very well with this. Here it becomes difficult because there is paucity of time. So in this way, to mention here different shows diagrams, sinkholes, shallow holes, dolines, ovalas, poljes, Polje lake, etc. So you can draw one entire diagram for this that will explain you how these landforms are being seen. Then in addition to that, you have to switch over to the depositional landform. As far as depositional landform is concerned, then important are the dripstones, then stalactite, stalagmite. So here I see that students confused in between the stalactite and stalagmite. So see here C, if you rank A, B, C, D, E, F. So C comes first and then M comes later. So the dripstone deposition that in the caves, these are the stalactites are nothing but they are the dripstone depositions hanging from the roof of the cave are called as the stalactite. And what is stalagmite? These are the dripstone depositions from the ground of the cave. These are stalactite and these are stalagmite, and when they get coalesced, stalactite and stalagmite get coalesced with each other, they forms the pillar. Yes, this is called as pillar. So in this way you can show the diagram and explain this depositional landform. So students, I think if you explain in this fashion, then it will be finish your body part, and we can cover make a better presentation with the help of description as well as diagrams. So this should be your way of explaining this question, and additionally you can conclude in the sense that the different landforms which are formed due to the denudation works of the groundwater, which are due to the limestones and dolomites. So these landforms forms of precarious presence, and this forms beauty to the or make the areas more attractive, and these are also the sites of tourist visits. For example, we can also cite the Guptadhan caves in India. Guptadhan caves in India, these are also the very popular karst topographies which are also forms of student attractions, and these landforms have make our topography more attractive. Yes, and such landforms also have means in the sense you can explain their significance, how they are significant for the human being, also mankind, also means how they beautify our earth landscapes. So in this way means you can highlight that, yes, in this fashion, in this manner, they beautify our earth landscapes and adds to the beauty of our Mother Earth. In this sense, you can conclude your answer.